Okay, a warm welcome to all present here. Um, it has been a fantastic journey for our team at the first Asia Pacific Pre-Moot um, to culminate this event with a great success, which is proved by the feedbacks and the compliments we are getting from the teams and the participating arbitrators. As I was just discussing with the guests today, eminent guests, this journey started almost a year and a half back, uh, and with the organizing and coming together of the core committee team, and then organizing the main backup administrating team. And everything happened online because at that moment the whole world was in the pandemic, everything was locked down. So we thought that this is actually a blessing in disguise for us to organize this event by the time the pandemic will be over. So we initially had a plan of doing it in person, but then the second wave started, and we decided that it's too risky to go for an in person because there was no certainty about uh, what will happen with the pandemic. So then we decided to go online, and that was a major issue for us because when we are talking of the core committee itself, we are talking of three different countries: Australia, India, and Hong Kong. And when you're talking of even the organizing committee, which for your information is only and only the students themselves. So this is first such pre-moot which is by the students and for the students. So I think that needs a good applause for the organizing team students for this, that they could made it happen at this scale in this time. So the students, the organizing are based out of New Delhi. So we, neither the organizing team nor the core committee member have ever met in person for organizing this event. Everything happened online, either through Zoom meetings or WhatsApp or emails or phone calls, including connecting with the arbitrators one to one, everything online. But with God's grace, we have achieved that success, I would say. And the way the moot has uh, been conducted, I'm sure all of you who had participated would agree that it has been a great event, especially if when it's a pre-moot. It's not the main moot, it's just a pre-moot and happening for the first time, and the first pre-moot of the season. So we were, of course, initially we were all were quite apprehensive, but when we launched it and when we started getting the registrations, uh, we felt little relieved the way we got the responses from the teams registered. And let me just tell you, and I think you would also be aware, that finally we got 130 teams registered across the globe, which I am sure is a record in itself for a pre-moot, the first pre-moot ever. And one more thing that we came with a very unique, totally different theme, uh, thanks to our mentor and one of the key core committee member, Professor Dr. Rajesh Sharma. And the theme is of inclusivity, which is much little above than diversity. I mean, we have been talking, there have been talks going on and on about diversity, but we thought that let's go one step further about inclusivity. And you can see on the screen as of now a part of that, um, the sign language interpreter. And that's how this idea came. We worked upon it. Initially, we thought that it won't be possible, but then uh, with the help and support of the core committee, and of course our one of the main supporter, Datuk Sundra Raju, we decided that let's give it a chance. And so we started on this theme. We managed to make a website which can be accessed by any differently abled person. And again, everything, including the website, is designed by students. No professional, only these students. So I think this again should be going into records of Pre-Moot, that it is, as I said again, by the students and for the students, and secondly, all self-funded. Not a single financial contribution we have asked from anyone. It's all self-funded. So this is what we have been able to do, and with your blessings and compliments and support, I can definitely assure, and we all are sure, to now go on with much bigger event next year. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today. And to just for what I just said, we have made a small video of our journey of this Pre-Moot, which I would like you to please watch and appreciate. Meg, can we have the video played, please?
Yes. Akansh?
Well, I am sure you would have liked this video and our memorable journey, our first journey uh, of the event. And now I would like to invite our guest of honor, who we all know. You can see him on the screen, and it's really our honor and privilege that he has joined us today for this event. And he is none other than Professor Stephen Kroll. I don't think he needs any introduction to all present here. And but in brief, if I can introduce him here. Uh, he is a professor at the law school in Hamburg, director of the Center for International Dispute Resolution, and president of German Arbitration Institute. I mean, his introduction can take the whole night, I suppose. I'm so sure, but I just stop it here because more than that, we all want to listen to him. So I'll not come in between, and I'll request Professor Kroll to say some few words. Thank you, sir. You're most welcome.
Samir, thank you very much for that very kind introduction. And first of all, congratulations to the organizing team. It's very kind that we have the opportunity, or that I have the opportunity, to say some words on behalf of the WIS director at the closing ceremony of the first Asia Pacific WIS Pre-Moot. When the co-organizing committee approached us with the idea of having a larger Pre-Moot in India, with a specific focus on making the moot also accessible for students and arbitrators with different abilities, we liked the idea very much. First, being as inclusive as possible is also one of our main goals. Unfortunately, the size of the WIS in Vienna makes it often difficult to pursue that objective actively. We had students with issues, and we always try to accommodate that. But we're extremely glad that this Pre-Moot has it made one of its specific objectives to be all-inclusive. Second, given the incredible number of Indian teams participating in Vienna every year, we considered it an extremely good idea to have a major Pre-Moot in India, allowing younger colleagues from India, but also other Asian countries for whom the trip to Vienna is not possible, to meet up with their colleagues from other jurisdictions, whether as a team or also as young arbitrators. And looking at the names of the arbitrators I've seen in the final as well as in the preliminary rounds, it seems that our sentiment was shared by a number of very high-profile colleagues. I've talked in the recent days to Professor Ferrari, who had just finished a preliminary round, and in the final I saw Karen Mills, Patricia Shaughnessy, with whom I will teach next week in Vienna, and Stephen Finizio, with whom I'm organizing a workshop on cross-examination in May sometime at Bucerius. And all of these are arbitrators which you will see in high-profile, high-value cases in real arbitrations. They have taken their time, and we and the students are probably extremely grateful for that. And last but not least, I saw in the final Sundra Raju. His vision to develop arbitration in Malaysia by organizing during his time as the Asian International Arbitration Center, a major Pre-Moot there, and bringing students from abroad as well as students from Malaysian universities together, was one of the reasons why the Asian International Arbitration Center's rules were chosen for this year's moot. At the same time, I'm extremely happy to see so many Indian arbitrators included into the list of arbitrators. Some of them are the usual suspects, which we regularly see and welcome in Vienna. But there were also a number of new names, and I strongly hope that we will be able to welcome at least some of them in person in future years in Vienna. There are probably few people who know better what work it involves to organize an event which already in its inaugural year is so successful that it attracts 88 teams and around 300 arbitrators which actually participate. I can only imagine what work it must have been and how many phone calls to friends were involved to find last-minute replacement arbitrators. It's one of the many downsides of the pandemic that since arbitrators participate from their offices, the likelihood of interfering work is much higher. It's, however, also one of the upsides that in searching a replacement, you're not limited to daily, but can search worldwide. Thus, when I tried to reach my assistant, Mr. Akbaba, yesterday morning, I was told that he is arbitrating in India. For me, watching the final was the first time I've heard this year's case argued orally. And I must say I had to verify with my calendar whether it's actually just the start of the Pre-Moot season or Vienna is already taking place next week. The quality of the legal argument and the presentation in that part of the final, which I saw, was already extremely high. And I can just imagine that it might be even higher in Vienna. Irrespective of that, I hope that there's still sufficient material in the case that even after pleading it for the 100th time in one of the many pre-moots before Vienna or Hong Kong, you're not getting bored by it. From my experience, that is the secret of the very successful teams. Use every opportunity you get to train, remain flexible, and do not just develop a plan B, but also a plan C, D, and E for Vienna and Hong Kong. I know it's sometimes hard, but you will definitely benefit from it. And then also take the opportunity you have with all the pre-moots to get to know the opposing teams, even if you do not meet in person. A follow-up Zoom chat with internal feedback or a joint virtual coffee might be a good idea. And remember, in the end, it's not primary competition, but the whole moot is an educational exercise from which each of you should derive as much benefits as possible. I wish you a great pre-moot season and hope to see at least some of you in person in Vienna for our social bubble. With that, I hand back to the organizers who have the information probably you're really interested in, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Professor Kroll. We are extremely honored, and definitely this gives us much more inspiration, as I said, to take this event on a much grander scale for the years to come. And I definitely, yes, agree that there have been many tense moments till, I would say, the elimination rounds of last minute dropouts, and because of the time zone differences, it became so much difficult to maintain the theme of diversity and inclusivity on each of our panel, but we still managed to do it. And of course the credit goes to Alex, who in spite of the, as I said, time zone difference, burned the midnight oil, gather around people whenever required. Mehak Rathi, key organizing person, the main person who was supervising the whole team of the students. She equally contributed of bringing on board the required arbitrators. Similarly, of course, Professor Rajesh Sharma, and of course Dr. Ajar Rab. And to be honest and little bit selfish, this is the reason why I have roped them in, because I was very sure that I would get the result which is required to make this event happen at this level. And now I would request Datuk Sunra Raju to say a few words of his experience of this pre-moot, because I know that he had been following us throughout, so we would definitely like to listen to him. Sir, Datuk, over to you. Thank you.
So you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you, Shamir. I did an opening address in the mood, and I said most of the things that I wanted to say. And I must admit, it is really gratifying to see this moment. It is so successful. I want to actually congratulate the core team, the team of students, the mooters, and also the arbitrators and the support people. You all have done an excellent job. Excellent. In fact, it is a logistic feat. I remember when I tried to organize it physically, it was easier. Easier simply because we are in one time zone. Everybody flies into that time zone physically and come in, and we just have to organize the venue and the accommodation and transport. But it is quite easier than trying to organize people coming on different time zones at one point. This is a different logistics speed, and you all did very well. Now, I'm privileged also that my two colleagues are also here from the final judging team of the arbitral tribunal. Karen and Patricia are unable to join us, but I think we have Stephen and Tejas with us. They will also say a few words, I'm quite sure. We are astounded by the standard of the presentation. The mood, I can't say it's a pre-moot. It's not the first pre-moot. I think I echo Dr. Stephen Kroll's statement that actually you may think it is almost hitting the final because the standards are so high. We were actually struggling. We were following the arguments, and we were astounded at the quality of the content and the presentation. It is marvelous. I think if you are able to get at the first vis pre-moot this standard, I can imagine what the finals are going to be in Vienna. So I think the standards have been pushed up again. So thanks to you all, and I congratulate everybody again. Thank you so much for having me on board. It is one of the great pleasures of my life to be participating still in this kind of events. So thank you.
Thank you, Datuk Sundaraju. I mean, it's our honor that you have always been there to support and guide us, and that is the reason why we could, we could achieve this level of success. I would now request Stephen Finicio to say a few words of his experience, because I know he also has judged the preliminary rounds, and of course he was one of the tribunal member of the final. So Stephen, please.
I just have to echo what other people have said. It's been a wonderful experience as an arbitrator, and the level of the final was exceptionally high, and it's particularly remarkable that we're so early in the viz process to see such sophisticated and well done arguments at this stage. And I think to see what the finalists were doing, I think it's a credit to everybody, both on their teams, but all the other teams. For those two finalist teams to have emerged from this meant that the level of competition here and the level of preparation, the hard work that was done, and the sophistication in both the coaching and the teams themselves has been really impressive, and it bodes well for the next stages in this journey through the viz, and for the introduction of these teams. And I know for many people, the viz is their first introduction to arbitration. And if people are starting at this very sophisticated level, they become ambassadors in the future for arbitration. And all I can say is that it was a great pleasure to be able to participate in this, and wish the best of luck to everyone, not just the finalists, but all the teams. And now is the time to take lessons from this, improve, and shine even more in the next rounds and at the viz itself. So thank you for giving me the privilege of being part of this.
Thank you, Stephen, and it's our pleasure that you could join us today, and both the finals and the ceremony. Thank you so much. May I now request Mr. Tejas Karya, another panelist of the final round, to say a few words of his experience of this event.
Thank you, Samir Bhai, and good evening, everyone. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole process, and the teams were extremely good in the final round. It was very difficult choice for all of us to make, but one person has to win, one team has to win. So you will hear very shortly who is the winner. But overall, I would like to congratulate the core team for putting together such a fabulous use of technology, because starting from filling up the form of a registration or breakout rooms, and everything was organized so well. This is another level of use of technology in arbitration, because over the last 2 years, we have seen that we have all survived because use of technology, and in future it's going to continue. So this is a very good introduction for our younger arbitrators who are going to specialize in arbitration, to use technology to their advantage, to be able to reduce time and cost in arbitration. So this is going to be a great initiative to use of technology. Inclusiveness, again, is one thing which we have achieved, and we have seen how it can be done actually. So this is a live demonstration for showing everybody that inclusiveness is possible in arbitration. And the third thing which I wanted to talk about is specialization, because we feel that everybody wants to do everything in life, but over a period of time, you need to specialize in one particular field. And Pre-Moot gives you that kind of introduction to specialize in arbitration. And I have seen many of our colleagues who are specializing in arbitration at one point of time connected with WIS, and that influenced them for deciding their career path. So I'm very confident that all the 130 teams and members of that got an experience. Winning and losing is not important. Being part of the process is very much important. Knowing people, learning from, observing from others, and also learning how to think on your feet, because when arbitrators ask questions, we got the answer which we already knew, but to think at the right time and give it in a right manner in that short period of time is very important. Other aspect is also something to learn is the chess clock method, where in international arbitration, we have limited time. In India, unfortunately, there is no time period fixed for your arguments. But in international arbitration, we have seen that this competition also gives you that kind of experience to finish all your points in a very short time. We get only 30 minutes for our opening submissions in any international arbitration, not that 2 hours you go on explaining what the facts are. Arbitrators read all the facts, and you have to only discuss the aspects of the doubts which they have. So all this overall gives a very good experience, and Pre-Moot is pioneer in that, and the Asia Pacific Pre-Moot. I still remember I got a call from Samir. I said, there are so many teams, how did we get arbitrator? I said, don't worry, we will get everybody from our firm to become arbitrator, and we will manage it. And we did it. So congratulations to all of you, all the participants and the organizing team, and to all the members, so that there's, as I said, there is no winner or loser. Everybody is winner according to us. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Tejas Bhai, for those kind words, and you are always being supportive, and I'm sure we can always rely upon your support whenever we need it. So thank you so much for joining us today. Now I would request one very important person who's so close to the WIS East, and she doesn't need any introduction. Her name is enough. Please, Sherlyn, may I request you to say a few words about your experience of this event?
Thank you very much. It's always an honor to hear wonderful words like that. I actually thought I was coming to speak on behalf of the Moot Alumni Association, but I think I'm going to be doing it for both today. And really, there's nothing more to add. The WIS East administration, as well as the Moot Alumni Association, was fully supportive of this event as soon as they heard about it. Stefan has given a very good background and also the support. I think it's just universal. You've heard it from everybody here. Pre-moots, the WIS moots, it's important personally, it's important professionally. What this pre-moot in particular has done, it's taken it to the next level. We've seen so much, so many advancements in the latest years in diversity, in various different types of diversity. And the Asia Pacific WIS pre-moot has taken it to another type of diversity to make it more prevalent. to the public. And so the Vis East administration, as well as the Moot Alumni Association, is very proud to be a supporting organization. And I can only echo the same. Every time I got pulled into a wonderful pre-moot competition this week to arbitrate, which was a lot of times, because when you have 130 plus schools registered and less than 2 weeks after the respondents memorandum was submitted, there were a number of arbitrators that were needed. And I will say that I was impressed with every single round that I had. Hard to say, just a couple years ago when I competed, we definitely were not of the level that I had seen all week. I mean, I think Alex convinced me to arbitrate on the very first day, one of the early rounds. And I expected, okay, you know, we know how all of these problems are. Stefan likes to draft very interesting but complex problems that make the students really think. And let's be honest, not just the students, he makes the arbitrators think as well. And so I was kind of expecting a little bit of a, you know, some games between the students, the arbitrators, let's see who really knows the problem. And it was clear, all of the teams, they knew exactly the problem inside and out. They knew their arguments. We were impressed. We were all impressed, and it's only going to get better because we've got at least 6 or so weeks until the Vis East, and then another 2 weeks until the Vis Vienna. We're excited to see what's going to happen.
Well, Sherling, I'm sure everybody is excited about the main event, but I'm also sure that this Vis Pre-Moot, the Asia Pacific Vis Pre-Moot, would definitely be a sort of main game changer so far as the participating teams are concerned for their journey to the main event. I would now like to request another important guest here today, who again is one of the main supporter to us and to make this event happen. And may I request Vera He to say a few words about her experience of this pre-moot. Vera?
Thank you, Samuel. Hi, everyone. Greeting from Shanghai. My name is Vera He, Deputy Director of ICC Arbitration and ADR for North Asia, the International Chamber of Commerce. It is my great pleasure to say a few words at the closing ceremony of the first Asia Pacific Vis Pre-Moot, which also marks the end of an eventful week where we have heard pleadings, rebuttals, heated discussions from over 130 teams from around the world through hundreds of virtual hearings. When I firstly knew about this pre-moot, I was fascinated by this initiative, which aims to provide diversity and inclusion of all students by ensuring all materials are available in Braille, read aloud texts, and offering the assistance of sign language interpreters. When I shared this news with my ICC colleagues, we are all very happy and excited about this initiative because ICC also has established a task force last June to study and analyze the ways to increase different ability inclusion in international arbitration. And I'm happy to know that Professor Rajesh Sharma, you are the one of members of this task force. I believe that the first Asia Pacific Vis Pre-Moot is the pioneer and one of a kind Vis Pre-Moot, which have made it a goal of the diversity, dignity, and unity for all in the field of arbitration. I think each one of us who participated in this Vis Pre-Moot is the witness to this great initiative. I'm really looking forward to working with mooties, arbitrators together to take the in out of impossible by enabling our peers who can start their learning in international dispute resolution for everyone, everywhere, every cases. At last, I would like to say thank you to the organizing committee of the first Asia Pacific Vis Pre-Moot. I understand you must undertake huge work and responsibilities during the preparation. Thank you very much for accommodating hundreds of arbitrators and students, and most importantly, providing a wonderful educational stage for law students to forge their skills, understandings, and friendships. Meanwhile, I would like to thank all participating teams for your dedicated efforts and well-prepared presentations. I wish you all enjoy the Viz Pre-Moot journey and good luck in Vienna and Hong Kong. That concludes my closing. Thank you very much. Hand over to you, Samuel.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you so much for those kind words and supporting us. And just adding to what you were mentioning, let me tell you that this journey may seem to end today, but as such is going to be a continued project for us. We are making this as a continued education platform. So this website is not going to shut down today. It will be there live with different programs, trainings, webinars, conferences, events for the development of the students and young practitioners for international commercial arbitration. And just to share you a few small data of diversity which we are able to maintain in this moot. We had 163 plus Indian arbitrators and 173 plus international arbitrators. And out of the total days of the rounds which we had, there were hardly 10% of the panels which were truncated. Otherwise, we managed to maintain full tribunal for the 90% of the rounds, which I think is definitely an achievement of first such exercise. But all credit goes definitely to the team, the core team, as well as the organizing team to achieve this. And now I'm sure everyone is just waiting for the main announcement, and therefore let's see who the winner is of this first Asia Pacific Viz Pre-Moot. And here we go. So the winner of the first Asia Pacific Viz Pre-Moot is School of Law, Christ, Bangalore, and they are awarded the Martin Hunter Award for this with an internship opportunity at the Australian Disputes Center. So congratulations. Now, of course, the runner-up team, and that's why we not saying as a losing team. It's a runner-up team because, as everybody said, this is not a matter of win or loss. It's a matter of learning. So the runner-up team award, of course, goes to the Honorable Society of Gray's Inn, and the award is the internship at the Asian Dispute Institute of Alternative Dispute Resolution. Congratulations. And the third award is for the best oralist overall, and the award goes to Veronica Reisinger of WU Vienna, and the award is the internship at Windmill Hale. Congratulations to the winner. And so that, as I said, though ends today's program, but is definitely not the end of this event. And I would now request Dr. Ajar to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Samir sir. Thank you, everybody who's joined us. I think it's one thing to say that there have been long-standing supporters of the Moot, but there are people from whom I have learned personally. I remember judging a round for the first time when I was in Hong Kong with Paul Rose, and just I don't know if Paul remembers this, but he's the one who taught me what a good rebuttal should look like, and he enacted it out like a knife to the throat. Yes, and from there I realized that there is so much to learn and so much to learn from everybody around. And that journey then went on, and I met Samir sir and Alex, and and all of us thought that the Indian subcontinent lacked the exposure because not everybody could get to Hong Kong or Vienna. And I think Rajesh sir's vision of inclusivity and his commitment to the cause brought us all together. It's like I've said before, it was really a coffee conversation which has come so far. And that's because people like Paul, like Aziz, like Grace, like Datuk Sundara Raju, everybody believed, supported us, whether they were preliminary rounds, whether they were final rounds. It was never that I'm too senior or you're too junior. The cause was more important. And I'm very, very, very grateful to each one of you who has been at the drop of a call, woken up at midnight, WhatsApp, email. Please check your junk folder. Yes, I'm sorry that if we got your name wrong, if we thought two of you are the same person. We had an incident where we thought that two people have the same name, and we called one person and he says, "Who are you? Why are you calling me?" So we're very sorry if we messed up on those things. But like has been said before, it was a logistical uphill battle to organize something online with people in different countries, different jurisdictions. And it's because of everybody here who's taken the time out, even on a Sunday evening, to attend this closing ceremony. It means so much to us, so much to the students. And it would be unfit if I did not thank Professor Kroll for taking out time on a Sunday. To each one of you, whether it's senior, junior, student, thank you so much for supporting the Moot, for believing in this cause. Thank you to the organizing team, Mehek and Devyani, Akansh, Fareha, all of you. We're very sorry to have spoiled your nights. We are very sorry to have called you and said things that, hurry up, do something, get this video, get the poster out. I know your students, we've pushed you very hard, but you've always delivered. And I think that's the real reason why such big luminaries today have used the word successful for a Moot that has just begun. Yes, I'm very grateful, and I hope that we do this physically next year. Not just hope, as Samir sir would just correct me. We will do this physically next year, and we hope that all of you can make it and continue to support us just the way you've done online. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very good weekend, and I hope you all are safe, and we hope this pandemic ends soon, and we can all meet in person.
Yeah, thanks, Ajay. But it will be real injustice and unfairness on our part if I don't request our own core team member, Professor Dr. Rajesh Sharma, to say the last few words before we end this ceremony. Sir, please.
Samir sir, I don't have to say anything. You have said everything. The only thing I have to say, as you already explained, this Moot is ending today. That doesn't mean our project is ending today. Our mission is ending today. Actually, it is starting from today. We have proposed and we have said that we will include everyone with different ability and diversity in international commercial Moot. And we will provide them all the support and training, everything which they need from now onward until the real Moot, or I should say the Vienna and the Hong Kong East. And even after, because it's an educational journey. It's a journey for learning, and we want to use that, and we want to give this opportunity to everyone. So thank you very much for our core team. And I'm so thankful to all my core team that I just proposed an idea and everybody accepted it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So best of luck for everyone.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for always being there. As I was just discussing that, when our boat, our ship was about to capsize, and you were always there to, mold it out of it. And so once again, thank you all. Congratulate the winners, as well as, of course, those who could not make it. Thank you, all of you, all the guests, the eminent arbitrators, students, faculties, everybody who has joined us today. And let me assure you, on behalf of our team, that we will definitely host you next year in India. So see you soon next year. Goodbye and good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.